It is one of Italian football's most decorated and prestigious occasions. And a proud moment for the match officials as well, led out by Davide Massa. That is what they're playing for, the TIMVISION CUP. It's the 74th edition of Italy's domestic cup competition. Two of Juventus's old guard, Giorgio Chiellini, the skipper, Gigi Buffon, at the ripe old age of 43, looking to win this competition for a 6th time. Atalanta might well be the Cinderella story of Italian football, but all good fairy tales need a happy ending. They are seeking only a 2nd ever Coppa Italia against Juventus, who have won this trophy on a record 13 occasions. The stage is set here then in Reggio Emilia, Mapei Stadium, all set to welcome the TIMVISION Cup final. What a cracker it should be between Atalanta and Juventus. Annalisa will be singing l'inno di Mameli, the Italian national anthem. One of the most iconic national anthems, and one which will certainly get the 4,300 supporters in the mood here.
Signori, in occasione della TIMVISION Cup, Annalisa canta l'inno nazionale.
Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta dell'elmo di Scipio, se cinta la testa, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma che schiava di Roma, il Dio la creò. Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta dell'elmo di Scipio, se cinta la testa, dov'è la vittoria, le porga la chioma, che schiava di Roma, il Dio la creò. Stringiamoci a coorte, siamo pronti alla morte. Siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò. Stringiamoci a coorte, siamo pronti alla morte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò. Sì!
A wonderful rendition of the Italian national anthem, l'inno di Mameli. And we are all ready to go here at Mapei Stadium.
Atalanta, Juventus. Arbitro il signor Massa. Collaboratori i signori Passeri, Di Bello, Costanzo, Valeri, Vivenzi. La formazione della Juventus. Con il numero 77 Gianluigi Buffon. Con il numero 3 Giorgio Chiellini.
Andrea Agnelli has celebrated 11 years in the Juventus presidency. Giampiero Gasperini makes 2 changes to the side that won at Genoa. Palomino is preferred to Jim City at the back, while Pessina is rewarded for his star turn in the semi-final with a start here. Miranchuk drops to the bench. Also among the substitutes is Atalanta's top scorer, Luis Muriel. Malinovski partners Zapata up front for la Dea. Juventus also make a pair of changes compared with their weekend win over Inter. Buffon starts in goal in what could well be his final appearance in Juventus colours. Alexandro's suspension, meanwhile, prompts a reshuffle for the Bianconeri. McKennie comes into the side, Cuadrado drops into fullback, and Danilo switches to the left flank. Kulusevski starts against his former club. Giorgio Chiellini skippers Juventus tonight. Rafael Toloi, the Atalanta captain. The pair could well be in Italy's Euro 2020 squad this time next month. Should be a tense occasion. It should be an entertaining game of football. Atalanta plays some of the finest football in the country under Gianpiero Gasperini, but he still needs a piece of silverware for his trophy cabinet. Andrea Pirlo already has honours as Juventus coach. He won on this ground the Super Cup back in January over Napoli. He'll be hoping it's more of the same tonight in Reggio Emilia. Ronaldo yet to win the Italian Domestic Cup, one of the few domestic honours he hasn't picked up during his long and decorated career. But these Atalanta players are hungry. Contrasting styles of play, contrasting budgets and history and prestige. Atalanta have come on leaps and bounds in the last 5 years, but silverware has thus far eluded them. After a near miss in 2019, they are once again just 90 minutes away from lifting the Coppa Italia. But to do so, they have to topple Juventus, Italy's biggest and most successful club, 13-time winners of this competition. What an evening we should have in store here at the Mapei Stadium. The region of Emilia-Romagna stepping up and hosting this showcase, which for so much of recent years has been held in the capital, the Stadio Olimpico, a new venue. Still plenty of excitement, particularly for the fans in attendance. So great to see them back, to hear them in good voice as well. Immediately a first foray forward for McKennie. Trying to slip in Ronaldo. Palomino had to be on his toes to deal with it and win a goal kick. Goal-laden performances have brought them both this far. Atalanta dispensed with Cagliari and Lazio in the round of 16 and quarter-final respectively, scoring 3 goals in each of those ties. Then they defeated Napoli in the two-legged semi. Pessina, Zapata looking to test de Ligt. The Dutchman did well. Cuadrado should do the tidying up. Boxed in well by Pessina. It's an Atalanta throw. Cuadrado on this occasion didn't get the decision from the officials. He got one of those, significant one, against Inter at the weekend. Freuler unable to find Duvan Zapata. Juventus had a scare in this competition as far back as their opening match, the round of 16. They went the distance against Genoa, 3-2 winners after extra time. There followed a 4-0 rout of second-tier outfit Spal, and two-legged semi-final win over arch-rivals Inter. These the best two teams in this season's competition. Atalanta beaten finalists by Lazio in 2019. Juventus beaten finalists last year, losing to Napoli on penalties. Zapata, Atalanta doing the early running. Good pace from the Colombian, he's away from de Ligt here. Zapata, and Palomino couldn't finish. Well, he got forward from centre-back there, a wry smile from Buffon. A real let-off for Juventus. That is Atalanta at their scintillating best, getting runners forward from all areas of the pitch. Juventus would have known what to expect. These sides met relatively recently in the league. Atalanta got a late 1-0 victory there with Ruslan Malinovsky, who's in the form of his life. Here he is on the ball. Turns down the option of Hateboer. Malinovsky has lost it to Rabiot. Juventus have certainly made this competition their own in recent years. They had a 20-year drought without winning it. Zapata there, too quick for de Ligt, too strong as well. And Palomino, having got forward, tried to wrong foot Buffon. It's a smart stop. McKennie beaten in the air by Gersons. Pessina bumped from behind by Bentancur. Rather needless foul. Bentancur fresh off a red card against Inter. Perhaps a slightly harsh second yellow in that game against the Nerazzurri. Gersons, Zapata bringing it down and turning, and very nearly finding the bottom corner. Atalanta have gone close inside the first 5 minutes on 2 occasions. Lovely spot from Gersons, great weight on the ball as well. This time it was Chiellini who couldn't live with the physicality of Zapata. And Buffon not required on this occasion. Atalanta so fired up for this. They confirmed a 3rd straight Champions League qualification by beating Genoa 4-3 on Saturday. But they don't have a trophy to show for their efforts over the last 5 years under Gasperini. Malinovsky, Pessina, Zapata. He can hit them from distance. The dummy was so good that even Hateboer fell for it. Zapata showed that in the semi-final second leg against Napoli. Crashed one in from outside the box. This occasion decided to look for a teammate. Flicked on by McKennie. Juventus have barely had a touch on the ball, unable to enjoy a spell of possession, just to settle down here. It's a fast start from Atalanta. They've come charging out of the blocks. This time Zapata jumped into de Ligt. You sense it would have been Chiellini and the Dutchman regardless, but Bonucci unavailable. Picked up a knee problem in training. Chiesa looking for Kulusevski. Chiesa again. Ronaldo wants it at the back post. Cuadrado's ball in. Nearly reached Chiesa. This time it was Atalanta's turn to enjoy a hairy moment. Rabiot. Ronaldo. Bentancur. Came off the face of McKennie. And Zapata wins the free kick off Kulusevski. That was the challenge from Romero on Chiesa, hence why the Argentine wasn't happy. He felt Chiesa went down too easily. Slightly risky challenge as the ball bounced up. Needless to say, we do have the video assistant referee available tonight. That's Paolo Valeri. And Leo Bonucci already getting involved, albeit from a watching brief tonight. Route 1 from Golini. Buffon sharply off his line. Buffon saved a penalty at that end of the ground. As recently as last week, kept out a spot kick from Domenico Berardi in a really important win for Juventus over Sassuolo. They're still in with a chance of a top 4 finish. Ronaldo, Rabiot, 2 of the scorers in that match. Bentancur. Cuadrado. Spotted Ronaldo, found him. Adrien Rabiot. Alexandro, a big loss for Juventus through suspension, but Danilo more than capable of deputising on that far side. Ronaldo went down too easily. Malinovsky. Hatterbo bombing forward in support. Bentancur with a really well-timed challenge, and Kulusevski too quick for Daron. Still Kulusevski, this is brilliant, but he couldn't tee up McKennie. Just wonder whether he might have got himself there, Dejan Kulusevski, against the club where he broke through in senior football. Down by McKennie, Chiesa, Kulusevski with a point to prove, perhaps. He's done well to beat the likes of Morata and Dybala in earning that starting berth alongside Ronaldo. There's only ever going to be one spot out of those three. The Swede has got it. Here he is again. Cuadrado. Testing Gosens. Pessina does the tidying up. This is Bentancur. Nero got everything behind it. Juventus come again with Chiellini. Danilo. Juan Cuadrado. He's such an important performance against Inter. Juventus beating the champions 3-2. Cuadrado scoring twice. Chiesa unable to keep it in. He thought he should have had a corner. So too did Pirlo, who turned 42 today. He'll be desperate to lift another piece of silverware on this his birthday. Gianpiero Gasperini has been in the game a long time. Has ties with Juventus as well, having coached in their academy earlier on in his career. He feels this recognition is long overdue. Tangible silverware to go with the plaudits. Toloi. I mentioned that Buffon saved a penalty on this ground recently. Golini was actually sent off at Mapei Stadium. Atalanta's recent game against Sassuolo, which was significant. La Dea didn't win, and with that, Inter won the title. Gosens. Atalanta could yet finish as runners-up, though. What an achievement that would be. Massive league game to come on Sunday night at home to Milan. Juventus go to Bologna, but all eyes on this fixture. All their focus is on winning the TIMVISION Cup. Jose Palomino. Gosens just behind Pessina, who has really come to life in this cup campaign. It was a stunning brace against Napoli in the semi-final second leg, the first leg having ended goalless at the Maradona. Juventus, by contrast, did so much of their good work in the first leg at San Siro against Inter. Ronaldo scoring 2 there. Buffon has played every minute of the Coppa Italia campaign. It's already announced he will be leaving the club at the end of the season. So unless there's a dramatic turnaround in the hierarchy, you would expect this to be his last appearance for Juventus. Wojciech Szczesny expected to start between the sticks for that game at the della. It was a fast start to this final. Atalanta going close twice, first through Palomino and then Zapata. The game has just settled down now. Two teams finding their feet, realizing that there's plenty to play. Given away by McKennie. Straight to Pessina, Zapata in support. Here he is, Matteo Pessina collects. He was knocked over, but the Juventus player took the ball. Pessina incredulous. But to be fair to Davide Massa, he was well positioned to make that decision. Another flashpoint in this game. Chiesa appealing for a penalty early on, and now it's Atalanta's turn to make themselves heard. Martin Daron. I mentioned the 2019 final for Atalanta. They were slightly underwhelming in losing 2-0 to Lazio. More on that in a moment. Romero given away. Kulusevski can scamper forward, and he's hard to stop once he gets moving. Romero with the challenge, and that might warrant a caution. Romero, having ceded possession initially, doubly keen to atone for his error. This was the touch from Pessina. That was the challenge from Rabiot. Clearly took the ball. Good refereeing and well timed by the Frenchman. Came in from the side and poked the ball away. Gasperini well within his rights to ask the question. So too Pessina. The Juventus fans are concentrated in the south end of the ground. Atalanta in the Tribuna Nord. Though it is called a Tribuna, which is normally the main stand, it is, to all intents and purposes, a curva. Stand behind the goal. Wonderful facility, this Mapei Stadium. Home of Sassuolo. Another well-run club. Perhaps the next Atalanta to emerge in the Italian footballing landscape. Juventus went 20 years without lifting this competition, 95 to 2015. Max Allegri came in and won 4 straight League and Cup doubles. Marco Di Bello is our 4th official, just getting patched up with the technology. But Juventus haven't won since that most recent triumph in 2018. They were knocked out by Atalanta in 2019 and then lost on penalties to Napoli last season. Deron miscues. It is just a throw. That was the challenge from Chiellini on Malinovsky. The Ukrainian has been in outrageous form. 6 goals and 9 assists in his last 10 appearances. He leads Serie A in terms of assists, 11 to his name. Ronaldo moving through the gears, and he was caught. Atalanta once again don't agree with the decision. Rafael Toloi, the skipper, saying that there was minimal to no contact. Did he take a piece of the ball there? Ronaldo immediately felt he was impeded. Hard to spot on that evidence. But he did take a piece of the ball. It was a good challenge. And Atalanta are right to feel slightly aggrieved. They'll need to forget that and focus on defending this set piece. And Ronaldo, having won it, is always favourite to take it. Ronaldo scored on this ground in the Super Cup win over Napoli in January. He's won a free kick here, and what an opportunity for Juventus. Golini knows what's coming. It's Ronaldo, caught the wall, and the follow-up dealt with by Romero. And Romero has cleared as far as Pessina. Here come Atalanta on the counter. Slightly underwhelming effort in the end from Ronaldo. Hans Hatterbo testing Bentancur, who did well. Cuadrado. Such an important creative outlet for this Juventus side. Kulusevski. Cuadrado again. McKennie. Chiesa wants it to feed and gets it from Kulusevski. Loose ball from Cuadrado, straight to Hatterbo, but he in turn has given it to Bentancur. Danilo. Nerves clearly on display here. Neither side particularly assured in possession. It's not quite the same champagne football we've become accustomed to from Atalanta. It's not the same ruthless winning machine that Juventus have been in recent times. Zapata very nearly got there as de Ligt didn't get enough purchase on his header back. But Buffon is as sharp as ever. Cuadrado. Derone there to close down the space. Zapata's looked lively. Misjudged by de Ligt, and then he did just about enough with the help of Buffon. Not sure Zapata would have got enough pace and power on that to poke it properly past the Juventus keeper. But there have been some close shaves for Juventus. And Atalanta still have Muriel to come off the bench. We will see him sooner or later, you sense. 22 in the league, 26 in all competitions. Player who seems to thrive with limited game time. Credit to him, credit to Gasperini for using him correctly. This is an Atalanta side and squad that has got progressively better. Remo Freuler on the ball here, who attended a press conference yesterday with Gasperini, said that they're much improved since they last made this stage, the 2019 final. Pessina, Zapata. Cuadrado watched the ball. Speaking of that 2019 side, only 3 of the players that started against Lazio that day have since left the club. Andrea Masiello now at Genoa. Timothy Castagne of Leicester City, who's just won the domestic cup in England. And Alejandro Gomez, El Papu, who Atalanta have managed to manage without. Juventus overplaying at the back, and Atalanta winning a corner. Zapata right up for this. Rabiot playing it against Cuadrado, who couldn't get out of the way. And Zapata made sure that his international teammate didn't retrieve it before it went beyond the byline. Set piece might be a route to goal for Atalanta. The one regret from 2019 was that they didn't at least score against Lazio. How they'd love to take the lead here against Juventus and gather momentum. Malinowski with the set piece, a poor one. Derone. Very rarely does Gasperini do without him. The same goes for Remo Freuler. Andrea Pirlo's job is under scrutiny. His position on the line. All he can do is try and win this final. End the season with 2 pieces of silverware between the Super Cup and the Coppa Italia. Gasperini more solid than ever at the Atalanta helm. And potentially a target for Juventus should a vacancy arise, given his past association with the club. Pirlo could yet guide Juventus into the top 4 at the expense of Milan, or perhaps Napoli. But that very much the minimum target. Juventus expected to win a 10th straight league crown this term. It's not come to pass. Bit of afters between Gersons and Cuadrado. There's Andrea Agnelli. Wonderful 11-year period under his stewardship as club president. 18 trophies all told. The Scudetto on 9 occasions, this competition 4 times, all with Allegri. 5 Super Cups to boot. And the Percassi family, father and son, Antonio on the right, Luca on the left. President and CEO, respectively. Chiesa running it Hatterbutt. Just wanted too long. Atalanta have won it back. Pessina's been busy, and that's why he's been chosen to play as the number 10, because he offers more. defensively, being able to drop back. Zapata having to go himself. Well timed by de Ligt on this occasion. That looks a really good tussle, a key matchup in this final. Cuadrado's given it away. Freuler, Malinovskyi. Rafael Toloi. Gosens. Zapata away from de Ligt momentarily. Still Zapata. De Roon. Juventus staying tight, pressing well, not allowing Atalanta an inch. Zapata. This time delivering. Swept away by Chiellini. We have some dignitaries in attendance as well this evening. We have the president of TIM, Salvatore Rossi, Stefano Bonaccini, who's the president of the Emilia-Romagna region, and of course Paolo D'Alpino, the president of Serie A. Pessina. Gosens, it found Pessina. Away by Chiellini. Important header there. Chiellini having scored an own goal against Inter at the weekend. Pessina's found space in the box. Pessina again. This is Remo Freuler! And it nearly snuck in. He has a couple of goals against Juventus on his CV, and he wants at least a corner there. Fabio Paratici, Juventus's chief football officer, watching on with Pavel Nedved. That was close from Freuler. Once again, the right decision seems to have been made. I'm not sure there was a touch. Buffon knew exactly where his far post was. Muriel, you sense, can't wait to be introduced. Teams now feel they can get at Juventus like no time before in the previous decade. Well off the pace in Serie A this term. There have been some eye-catching defeats, including that one in Bergamo. That was the first time Atalanta had defeated Juventus in the league, believe it or not, in 20 years. That gives you an idea of the gulf in class and prestige between these two sides. Juventus all powerful, all conquering. Atalanta, the emerging force, but they're getting a bit sick of that tag. No longer consider themselves the underdogs. They feel they can mix it with the best, as they've proven in recent seasons in European campaigns. Cuadrado won the ball there in the view of the referee on Pessina. Loose touch from Palomino. Palomino wins the header, on by Pessina, back to him by Zapata. Chiellini went straight through Matteo Pessina there. It's a yellow card, the first of the final, and it goes the way of Giorgio Chiellini. The Atalanta fans vocal at the best of times, let alone after 14 months without football. That was high from Chiellini. He did take the ball, but the studs were showing. Pessina, one of those players that's forced his way into the Italy setup under Roberto Mancini. A squad which will eventually be trimmed down to 26 players for Euro 2020. And this is exactly the sort of stage upon which to impress the Italy head coach. Ronaldo's free kick came to nothing, but Malinovskyi has a wonderful left foot. Martin de Roon, another option, but you sense that Malinovskyi has to be favourite for this, particularly given the form he's in. Has already found the net in the Coppa Italia this season as well. Malinowski tries his luck, and it's always going wide, relatively harmlessly so. Haven't quite seen the best of him in this final just yet. But Atalanta have a real player on their hands. Gasperini vindicated with his decision to let Alejandro Gomez go. Was the club captain, was their best player, but in Malinowski they seem to have a player that has some of the attributes of Ilicic and some of the qualities of Papu Gomez. Zapatra's won a free kick meantime. Shouldn't be too surprised to see it goalless at this stage. This has been a feature of recent Coppa Italia finals. And the secret to Juventus' success has been keeping clean sheets in these showpieces. Well closed down by Chiesa. Indeed, Juventus haven't conceded a goal in any of their previous 4 Coppa Italia finals. Contrast that with Atalanta, who have been to the final 3 times since that solitary victory in 1963. That was in 87 and 96, when the competition was still a 2-legged final. They lost to Napoli and Fiorentina, and then most recently in Rome, a one-off game in 2019. 5 matches all told. Only 3 goals ever scored in finals by this club, and all by the same player. What a player it was as well. Angelo Domenghini went on to win a European Cup with Inter in 1965. He won Serie A with Cagliari in 1970. 2 historic achievements in the Italian game. 3 if you include Atalanta's only ever Coppa Italia victory. Malinowski. His was the last touch. 600 tickets were made available on Monday for supporters from Bergamo. They sold out in 3 hours. There were 100 fans outside the team hotel here in Reggio Emilia yesterday. Real appetite for football, more than ever. They are a fervent bunch. A fierce fan base in Bergamo, but even more so, given this historic period they're experiencing with their side. Zapata. Gerson's wanted too long. Cuadrado played the ball. This is McKennie. Play continues. Kulusevski. Here come Juventus. Ronaldo unable to take it with him initially. Weston McKennie. Kulusevski! Against his former club. A point to prove perhaps, but it's Juventus who lead. Atalanta wanted a free kick for a potential foul on Gersons. Juventus kept playing. A bit of good fortune in the way the ball broke, but then it was all about the composure of Dejan Kulusevski. This the challenge from Cuadrado. A fair one, albeit with the follow-through on Gersons. Kulusevski's ball initially for Ronaldo. Atalanta didn't get it clear. And credit to McKennie for teeing up Kulusevski. But that is a sumptuous finish, the way he shaped it into the corner. Golini knew exactly where the ball was destined for. And Kulusevski, who only made 3 appearances for the Atalanta first team, scores the goal to give Juventus the lead against Della. It is his 3rd in this season's competition. And a birthday gift for Andrea Pirlo. Atalanta were widely praised for the business they did on Kulusevski, a real jewel in the crown of their impressive youth academy. He had a season on loan with Parma last term. That's where he really burst onto the scene. Juventus brought him in, and he has scored a big goal. A memorable strike. No question that he wasn't going to celebrate that, such as the importance of the goal. And it might just be deja vu for Atalanta. So often the runner-up in this competition, frequently the bridesmaid. Almost denigrated at times with the moniker of the Queen of the Provinces. Bergamo, not a big metropolis. They have won plaudits in recent years. They've played the likes of Paris Saint-Germain last season in the Champions League, Real Madrid this term. Yet they can't seem to get over the line. There's plenty to go in this final, make no mistake. But it is ominous that Juventus lead. Really cool head from McKennie to have the presence of mind to roll it into Kulusevski. And you don't need power when you can place the ball like that. Golini relatively unsighted because the ball was bent round the defender. This time, Atalanta get the decision. Chiesa slightly late there on Rafael Toloi. Dejan Kulusevski got a goal and an assist against Genoa and Spal in the round of 16 and quarter-final respectively. It's one thing scoring against that brand of opposition, it's quite another getting the opening goal in the final against your former club. What a moment, what a story. Taken short to Malinovski. Pessina can tease it in. Instead it's Derone. Zapata wastes no time in crossing. Hateboer's header pushed away by Buffon. Romero keeps it in play. Atalanta looking to bounce back. Malinovski wanted too long. Rabiot's won it. And will that warrant a yellow card? It will. Ruslan Malinovski joins Chiellini in the book. It's just a footnote, but Malinovski was on a yellow card going into this match. So we'll likely miss the round of 16 next season's competition through suspension, but that is a minor concern at this moment in time. Atalanta fully focused on getting back on level terms. Out by Palomino. Derone's given it to Rabiot, who's presented possession straight to Gersons. Some individual errors creeping in. Very scrappy at times. You're lucky if you remember the quality of football from a final. Typically, history remembers the victors. Juventus, 13-time winners of this competition. It is by far and away a record. No handball by Bentancur, Toloi, Malinovski. McKennie's had a good game. Hans Hateboer. Malinovski looking to make something happen. Palomino. Gersons. Still there for the German. This is Freuler. Hateboer. Malinovski. Curling it in. Palomino around the back. Once again, eager to get forward from centre-back. He latched onto one right at the start of the game. Very nearly connected with this. Great vision from Malinovski. Another look at this superb finish from Dejan Kulusevski. Shaping it round Derone. He knew as soon as it left his boot, and so too did Golini. Not even a forlorn dive. Gasperini will have seen that time and again down the years when a young Kulusevski trained with the senior side. Of all the players it had to be Dejan Kulusevski. Gersons first to the loose ball. No foul by Cuadrado. This is Zapata up against McKennie. Zapata has dug out a cross, and Danilo will watch it into touch. Atalanta have a host of options on the bench. One obvious attacking change would be to pull off Pessina, to throw on Muriel and allow Malinowski to drop into the hole behind the two Colombians. Zapata partnering Muriel. Atalanta have enjoyed more territory. They've had more of the ball. They've had more opportunities as well, but it's Juventus who've taken their chance. Away by de Ligt, one by Freuler. Zapata tried to spin. Chiellini grateful to see Buffon swiftly off his line. Cuadrado. Now McKennie. Kulusevski. Bentancur. Cuadrado slipping it through. Ronaldo had made an intelligent run. Toloi nearly lost it to Chiesa, not once but twice. And Rabiot is penalised. Just over 5 minutes to play till the break. Atalanta going in search of an equaliser. Juventus have the lead and have the edge. And potentially the momentum here with McKennie. Gosens wins the challenge. Palomino clears. Down by Rabiot, that's Pessina. This is Zapata. Fouled by de Ligt. And it's a yellow card as well. Both centre-backs for Juventus have their names taken. Matthijs de Ligt left one in there that was relatively gratuitous on Duvan Zapata. Good awareness of Zapata, just to wait for the contact. Pirlo doesn't agree, nor does Pinsoglio, the third choice goalkeeper. He's always got something to say. Is it going to be another case of what if for Atalanta? Another near miss. Romero forward. No foul by Bentancur on Pessina, who gives Davide Mastra a piece of his mind. Danilo. No foul by Freuler. Here come Atalanta. Hateboer. This is Ruslan Malinowski! Inevitable. He is lethal from that range, and Atalanta are level. Shades of Juventus' goal about this equaliser. Atalanta winning it high up the pitch and very quickly getting it to their man in form. And it's the men from Bergamo who celebrate. A hint of a smile for Antonio Percassi. And a clenched fist from Malinowski. Freuler won it fairly. Malinowski wanted it immediately, he had to wait. Hateboer's ball was crisp, and Malinowski's finish unerring as ever. And what a game we have on our hands here in the final. One apiece just before the break. Buffon saw it late between the crowd, and it's Gasperini who's jubilant. And all the voices you hear now are those of the Bergamaschi. Really difficult year for that city. Heavily affected by COVID-19. Yet they have a team to be proud of, and a team that might yet win silverware. Hateboer was towards Zapata. All hands on deck. Danilo throwing himself in the way. Malinowski once again pulling the strings, and that was a good run from Zapata across de Ligt, who needed a helping hand from Danilo. Malinowski with the corner. Buffon elects to punch. Back in by Pessina. Zapata was climbing. That's Terone. And Cuadrado very quickly out to block the potential shot. Freuler does the tidying up. Atalanta sensed the opportunity to take the lead just before the break. Still a couple of minutes to play in this first half. A game which has really lived up to expectations. Atalanta not at all fearful of Juventus. They believe that they are the club in the ascendancy. They're out to prove that point. Just 10 minutes between the Kulusevski opener and the Malinowski equaliser. Perfect response from Atalanta. Malinowski now. Danilo once again keeping tabs on the Ukrainian. Palomino. Gosens. Terone switches in. Here's his compatriot Hatterbutt. Now Freuler. Toloi. Hatterbutt now with teammates to aim for. Zapata attacks it. Cuadrado did well. Still there for Malinowski. Rode one challenge, but not the second one. Rabiot. Ronaldo in the channel. Chiesa busting a gut to get forward. Ronaldo. McKennie. It nearly reached Kulusevski. Well played, Robin Gosens. Pessina felt a tug of the shirt. Advantage played by Davide Massa. End-to-end stuff this in Reggio Emilia. Gasperini wants them to switch it because Gosens is in acres of space. Here comes the added time. Indeed, there is none to play. A game played at 100 miles an hour and nothing to separate the two sides at the break. Dejan Kulusevski got the opener just past the half-hour mark, scoring against his former employers, but then Ruslan Malinowski, the most informed player in Italy at this moment in time, with the equaliser. 45 minutes at least to come here at the Mapei. Half-time score, Atalanta 1, Juventus 1. Welcome back out to Mapei Stadium. Ruslan Malinovsky with that all-important equaliser for Atalanta. They've had greater opportunities, more possession, more territory. And they sense that they are 45 minutes away from making history. This crop of players could become only the second group of Atalanta footballers to lift the Coppa Italia 1963. Their only other triumph in the domestic cup. Juventus, by contrast, 13-time winners in their 20th final. They have been there and done it time and time again, yet they were outplayed in the first half. Despite all that, Dejan Kulusevski gave them the lead. We might yet see Alvaro Morata later on. The interval came at a good time for the Bianconeri, because Malinovsky's goal gave Gasperini's men all the impetus, all of that drive and determination they had already showed, but they had tangible rewards for it. Paulo Dybala could yet be introduced as the game wears on. We haven't seen too much of Ronaldo either in this final. Very rarely gets matches like these wrong, always tends to turn up. Kulusevski's certainly done that. Stunning finish for the opening goal. Andrea Pirlo vindicated for that particular team selection. It's Pirlo's birthday today, yet Gasperini is the one who's been talking about cakes. He was asked whether a victory in the Coppa Italia would be the icing on the cake. He said it would indeed, but the cake has been the progress we've made over the last 5 years. Atalanta third in 2018-2019 in Serie A. Beaten cup finalists that year as well. Third last season, currently second in Serie A. But no silverware to show for that. Juventus won the Super Cup, and they once again emerge victorious on this ground. 45 minutes at least still to come. No changes to either side for the start of this second period. Away goes Kulusevski, very nearly well found by Cuadrado. Romero does the tidying up. Romero's an interesting one. Never actually played for Juventus, but currently on a 2-year loan deal from the Bianconeri. Atalanta have the option to make that deal permanent. Ronaldo tried to link up with one of Rabiot and McKennie, found neither. Malinovsky. For once, his pass was misplaced. McKennie, Kulusevski. Ronaldo takes over. Cuadrado. Danilo. Careless from Chiellini. Gosens has done well because McKennie sensed that ball wasn't going into touch. The only side that stopped Atalanta from scoring in this competition this season was Napoli in the first leg of that semi-final. Then again, Atalanta went very close in that match. Ospina had an inspired game, and Atalanta have threatened time and time again tonight too. There's a real contrast between the two head coaches. Gasperini, the elder statesman, the man hoping to crown off this wonderful project with a trophy. Pirlo promoted straight to the top job by virtue of his stellar playing career. Cuadrado sends it in. McKennie! He stole the march there. And he wasn't far away from restoring Juventus's lead. As ever, impeccable service from Cuadrado, pinpoint cross. And McKennie is strong in the air. He has an eye for goal too. 5 in the league in this debut campaign for the American. And Golini was static, caught on his heels. And McKennie is in a bit of discomfort for his troubles. Antonio Percassi can begin planning for another season at Europe's top table. He's very superstitious, the Atalanta president. Begins every season by saying Serie A survival is their target. They've long since gone beyond that level, where they once used to battle to stay in the top tier. Now they are regular members of Europe's elite. This is why Kulusevski has stayed down. Trailing leg from Freuler, and then perhaps a kick from De Roon for good measure. Surely sooner rather than later we'll be seeing Luis Muriel. Forward by Chiellini, clever ball, Kulusevski. So hard to stop, Atalanta fearful of him. Right to be wary as well. Hateboer. Palomino. Forward by Gersons, on by Pessina. Hooked clear by De Ligt. Nearly kept in by Cuadrado. Juventus can call upon the likes of Dybala and Morata. They have an embarrassment of riches in an attacking sense. Bentancur did well there because Pessina was looking to steal in behind. Malinovski. This is Matteo Pessina. The deflection took a lot of the sting out of the effort. But once again, Atalanta so adept at finding those pockets of space just on the edge of the box. That's where the equaliser came from. Cuadrado has found Ronaldo. Running at Romero. Ronaldo's effort. Romero got back in very well and heads it into touch. Romero and Palomino now getting international recognition with Argentina. Atalanta getting recognition at club level from all across the continent. Pirlo said hats off to them. Very hard to do anything other than praise the project in Bergamo. A well-run club, financially solid, and able to seemingly consistently unearth gem after gem in the transfer market. Cuadrado dispossessed by Gersons. Getting his own back for the challenge from the opening goal. Hateboer. Freuler. Pessina. Zapata now. And still, he was clipped by Cuadrado. Free kick right on the edge of the box. Telescopic limb there from Robin Gersons, who will be with the Germany party for Euro 2020. Cuadrado ended up just treading on the toes of Zapata there. Not much Buffon could have done about that equaliser from Malinovski. It was smashed past him before he could move. Malinovski stood over this set piece as well. Malinovski sends it in. Romero denied by De Ligt, who was brave and has got hurt. Malinovski's initial ball in, and this looks really serious for De Ligt, and we are very close to Euro 2020. There appears to be blood, and he's in considerable discomfort. Brilliant, bold, brave defending. Malinovski's ball in, it wasn't cleared, and Romero all set to finish there. and he's ended up following through on de Ligt. And the video assistant referee might look at this, Paolo Valeri, and a red card changes everything. There's no real intent from Romero, but it's wild and it's really hurt Matthijs de Ligt. And he does not go down easily. He does not stay down easily. And it will be interesting to see whether the VAR is talking to Davide Massa here. Credit to de Ligt, he's up on his feet. Hateboer showing some concern because he, like De Roon, have Dutch football's best interests at heart. Nothing wrong with the challenge then from Christian Romero. Good 50-50, and credit to de Ligt for that all-important block and for the ability just to get up and shake it off. Away by De Roon. Gosens looking to stretch his legs. De Roon under pressure from Ronaldo, who has been on the periphery of this match. Only takes him a moment. Just a half chance and he could set this game alight, make it his own. Inside from Malinovski, loose from Bentancur, but he finds Kulusevski. Danilo, Kulusevski again. Chiesa kept it in play. Some of Juventus' bigger players coming to the fore now. McKennie over here. A reminder, these two sides have big games coming up on Sunday evening. Atalanta host Milan. The latter need to win to be absolutely sure of a top four finish. Juventus must emerge victorious at Bologna and hope that one of Napoli or Milan drop points and they'll be in the Champions League. But those games can wait. Both coaches picking their strongest 11s available. Hard-fought match. Forward by Golini. Zapata's gone down. The challenge was with Danilo. Nothing doing. Buffon urged to put the ball into touch. It was the knee of Danilo which caught the small of the back of Zapata. Danilo jumped, his eyes were on the ball. Zapata didn't really challenge. Neither player ended up making contact with the ball. Bentancur clearly thinking about dinking one in behind for the pace of Ronaldo and Kulusevski too. The latter playing up front tonight. He's featured in all sorts of positions for Juventus this season on either wing, but very adept as a second striker. Chiellini, Cuadrado, Bentancur getting forward, straight to De Roon. One thing is for sure, Malinovski has written his name in Atalanta history. Only the second player to score in a Coppa Italia final, joining the great Angelo Domenghini. Long by Golini, one by Bentancur, on by Kulusevski. Are Juventus going to be beaten finalists 2 years in a row? Keen to set the record straight after that penalty shootout loss to Napoli. Their fans look nervous, young and old. It's been a strange campaign for Juventus. They used the early rounds to give some playing time to some of their lesser lights, some of their lesser-known players. Here's Rabiot striding forward and feeding Chiesa. Chiesa and Kulusevski nearly had his second. Smart reflexes from Golini. That was a chance. Chiesa causing problems with his pace and trickery. Kulusevski, once again, with those goal-scoring instincts. Cuadrado, able to wander inside. Now Ronaldo, McKennie. This is Kulusevski. Very nearly working it onto his stronger side. De Roon has found Zapata. Must be time soon for Luis Muriel. Gosens, Palomino. Atalanta staying true to their footballing philosophy, their principles of play. They've played out from the back beautifully. De Roon. Pessina. Freuler. Hatterboer. Malinovski. Pessina between the lines. This is Zapata. De Ligt did well. Pessina got a toe to the ball now. McKennie bouncing off Gosens. Another strong 50-50, and Gosens tells McKennie in no uncertain terms to get to his feet. Challenge is flying in. It's a good, honest game of football between two quality sides. Atalanta more than a match for Juventus. Are we witnessing a shift in the balance of power in the Italian game? Or can Juventus once again assert their authority? De Roon penalised for tripping Kulusevski. Golini with an important save there because Chiesa's cross wasn't the best, but it still found Kulusevski. A toe poke and Golini on his toes. Kulusevski away from De Roon. And this is Ronaldo. Not enough power on the header. An inviting cross nonetheless from Kulusevski, who might well be on his way to man of the match and winning the MVP award for this final. Floating it in, and if anyone could generate the power from that sort of distance, it's Ronaldo, who could be in here. This is Chiesa for number 2. He's caught the post. Juventus so close to retaking the lead. Chiesa did everything right, beat Golini, struck it so purely, but denied by the frame of the goal. And now it's Atalanta who are having to dig deep. Chiellini did brilliantly. Ronaldo well aware of Chiesa's run forward. The pass was exquisite, the finish almost inch perfect. And Pirlo knows what a big moment that could prove to be. But it will give Juventus courage. It will just chip away at some of Atalanta's confidence. Pirlo said in the build-up to this match that Atalanta raised the tempo. They force you to play almost a European brand of football, the like of which you encounter in the Champions League. But Juventus have raised their game sufficiently so far in this second half. Nothing to show for it quite yet. Still the same scoreline we witnessed at the break. De Ligt straight to Pessina, but it breaks kindly for Rabiot. Juventus just grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. Rabiot. Cuadrado. Running at Palomino. No foul by the Argentine. Cuadrado's pleas and squeals go unanswered. Chiellini wins the aerial challenge with Zapata, who's becoming increasingly isolated. He was offside there. Cuadrado spotted the run of Ronaldo, dealt with by Romero. Bentancur. Chiellini tried to be too cute. This is Malinovski. Rafael Toloi. Hatterboer. Neat and tidy from Pessina. Rafael Toloi now. Hatterboer takes over. Pessina. Malinovski in support. Here he is. Atalanta taking their time, plotting their way through. Romero. Remo Freuler. Chance for Della just to settle after those two close shaves. Collini called into action, then the frame of the goal, denying Chiesa. Rabiot's won it back. This is Ronaldo. And now Cuadrado. It's been a sensational season for Cuadrado in terms of the goals he's created. He's only scored 2. They both came in the same game, that recent win over Inter at the weekend. One from distance, one from the penalty spot. He's lost it there to Gosens, who is penalised. Gasperini and his assistant Tullio Gritti preparing a change, it seems. Gosens and Cuadrado have had a bit of a spat all evening long. Gosens now taking up the issue with Davide Massa, who has officiated this match well. It was the second challenge as opposed to the first one from Gosens, which prompted the referee's whistle. Juventus have had the better of the second half. Atalanta were the stronger side in the first period. Which way does the momentum shift next? Buffon was reportedly linked with a move to Atalanta. Gasperini was keen to bring him in, but keen to avoid playing for another Serie A side if it's not Juventus. How he'd love to bow out with a trophy. Danilo. Kulusevski. Chiesa wanted it and gets it. Danilo. Chiellini. McKennie. Derone won it well. Malinowski. Hatterbo. Toloi, I should say. Given away to Ronaldo. Exchanging passes swiftly with Cuadrado. As things stand, we are heading for extra time, but still 25 minutes of the 90 remain. Juventus in the mood to get this game won, to pick up yet another piece of silverware. Danilo. Kulusevski twisting and turning and finding Ronaldo, and still Ronaldo. Just scuffed it. Did well to fashion the opportunity. Francesco Totti in the crowd. One man who knows a thing or two about winning the Coppa Italia. Only Juventus have won more trophies in this competition than Roma. Muriel about to be unleashed on this final. Headed away by De Ligt. Rabiot. That's careless. Zapata was not caught, no foul. And Atalanta feel they've been shortchanged again by the referee. McKennie. Chiellini. Juan Cuadrado seeing plenty of the ball. Cuadrado away from Freuler. Spotted McKennie in a bit of space. Freuler's won it back. Malinowski dispossessed. Cuadrado, his first thought is always to swing a ball into the box. And this time it's Cuadrado who's penalised. It's a tense affair. Words have been exchanged. And he's simmering nicely. It's the challenge from Cuadrado on Malinowski, who felt he got a shove to the face. Ronaldo improvising, bringing it down on the shoulder, and then stealing the march on Romero. Just knocked off balance and unable to strike the half volley as he would have liked. It's Malinowski that's withdrawn. And on comes Muriel, so it is the Colombian pairing up top. And Pasalic also being sent on for Pessina, presumably to play between the lines. Atalanta first to mix things up. Pasalic in good form in front of goal as well. Found the net against Benevento and then at Genoa as well. Each of Atalanta's most recent matches. Pessina, having scored a couple of goals in the semi-final second leg, unable to make too much of an impact tonight. Pasalic's first touch. Rafael Toloi. Hateboer. Zapata pulling wide and sending it in towards Muriel. They're going to be really busy now, the Bianconeri backline. Not just the threat of Zapata, but the live wire that is Luis Muriel. Sent in towards him. Muriel, who was Serie A MVP for April. Player of the month. Since the May Award might well be won by his club teammate, Malinovski, who scored the equaliser, but since been taken off. Palomino did well. Muriel holding off Cuadrado and looking for an outball. Terón. Palomino. Easy enough for de Ligt. Occasionally Atalanta have to resort to knocking it long. Bentancur nearly lost it to Pasalic, well in by Chiellini. Rafael Toloi. Not sure Buffon has had a save to make in the second half. Golini, by contrast, had to be sharp to keep out Kulusevski. And then had to pray that the post denied Chiesa, and they were answered. Atalanta unbeaten in their last 10, 8 wins, 2 draws. Since a loss to Real Madrid in the Champions League. Juventus have been on the receiving end of defeats 3 times in the last dozen matches, one of which was against Atalanta. Muriel easily away from de Ligt. Rabiot came back to cover well and then nearly showed too much to Pasalic. Very hard to call this. Lattea with the best attack in Serie A, 90 goals this season they've scored. They struck an astonishing 98 last season, 77 the year before. For 3 straight years, the most potent attacking force in Italian football. But they need at least 1 more goal here in Reggio Emilia if they are to lift only a second Coppa Italia. Romero. Zapata. Too strong for Chiellini. Pasalic. We've barely seen Gosens on the offensive. Player that scored 11 goals in Serie A this season. And he makes his way into the middle. Muriel. 2 for company. Muriel nearly forced his way through. McKennie did well. The last touch was off Terón. And now it's time for Paulo Dybala. Dybala scored on this ground this time last week, that game against Sassuolo. A match in which Ronaldo also found the net, Rabiot too. It was actually a milestone goal for both Ronaldo and Dybala, 100 for the club each. Ronaldo has since added 101. Here he is on the ball. He's never won this competition. Juventus beaten finalists last season, his second year with the Bianconeri. They lost to Atalanta in the quarter-final the previous year. Comfortably beaten as well, 3-0 in Bergamo. Kulusevski. McKennie now. Always willing to get forward. McKennie's cross. Hateboer knew that Chiesa was behind him, but let it run nonetheless. Federico Chiesa. Kulusevski, Chiesa, wonderful 1-2, brilliant goal. Federico Chiesa with a stunning strike, and it's Juventus who retake the lead. This time Kulusevski turned provider. Two of their marquee signings, two of their bright young hopes for the future. Kulusevski with the first, Chiesa with the second. Too quick for Hateboer. Kulusevski knew exactly what to do. That touch was majestic. And then all he had to do was keep his cool. Denied by the woodwork earlier on. But there was no stopping Chiesa on this occasion. A force of nature. And clinical when it counts. And that is Chiesa's last act of this final. It might yet be decisive. It could prove to be the winning goal. He gets a pat on the back from Pinsoglio and Bonucci. Chiesa had made only 3 substitute appearances in the 4 matches prior to tonight in Juventus's Coppa Italia campaign. That didn't stop him from scoring against Spal late on, but this is an altogether more important goal. A brilliant goal as well. And now Atalanta have just over a quarter of an hour to try and once again bounce back, to respond once more. Took them 10 minutes in the first half. They need to be equally hasty. Now it's time for Gasperini to play the Ilicic card. And the cries of Forza Juve, alle go around the crowd. Kulusevski combining with McKennie. Ronaldo now letting fly and winning a corner. That would be the icing on the cake for Juventus if he could get on the score sheet. Atalanta beaten finalists in 2019. Federico Chiesa looks like he might be making it a miserable evening once again from the side from Bergamo. Quadrado with the corner, De Ligt's header, just dropping wide. Berat City joining Ilicic in being sent on. Gasperini has to make something happen. Hateboer easily outpaced by Chiesa for that goal. Ilicic can dazzle and frustrate in equal measure. Gasperini will be hopeful that he's on his game tonight. And the skipper comes off for Jim City. Headed away by Chiellini, that's Freuler, and now Ilicic for the first time. The last touch was off the Slovenian. Pirlo would be desperate to play on this ground every week, won the Super Cup here. Dispensed with Sassuolo here to keep Juventus's top 4 hopes alive. His Bianconeri team lead by 2-1. And Atalanta haven't yet contemplated how to try and shackle Dybala. Chiesa's had a great season, 8 in the league, 4 in the Champions League, now 2 in the Coppa Italia. Produced a star turn against Porto, but here come Atalanta, Pasalic, Guzans. McKennie's read it well, there to intercept Pasalic's pass, which was tame. Bentancur. Derone won the ball, stayed on his feet, Muriel. Ilicic now. And still, this is Luis Muriel. couldn't keep it down, and he looks down accusingly at the turf. Was there a bobble, or did he simply rush it? Ilicic causing problems simply by being so direct. Juventus very rarely get the big matches wrong. They very rarely are second best, particularly domestically. Ronaldo's gone down, Freuler has had his name taken. Another Atalanta player booked after Malinowski in the first half. Well, in fact, it was Romero that got in just ahead of Freuler. So it's the Argentine who has been booked. A painful one for Ronaldo. Atalanta unhappy because Juventus are taking their time over this. That is their prerogative. Atalanta have never beaten Juventus twice in a row. They did win their previous meeting. Atalanta unhappy at how long this free kick is taking. Meanwhile, there's a spat between Ronaldo and Romero. In it comes from Cuadrado. Headed away by Palomino, on by Muriel. Bentancur. Dybala loses it to Muriel. Now Palomino. Atalanta now clearing their lines a bit more directly. Less scope for fancy football, perhaps. Might need to become a touch more agricultural than we're used to seeing from Della. Route one again from Palomino, dealt with by Chiellini. That's Dirone. Ilicic scampered back, but couldn't keep the ball in play. Gasperini desperately trying to get across some tactical instructions. The look on Hateboer's face says it all. Might once again prove a bridge too far for Atalanta. Sooner or later they'll get it right. They might yet be Inter's main challengers for the Scudetto next season. But it was defeat in Rome in 2019. They trail in Reggio Emilia in 2021. Ilicic pushed over by Danilo. Goal now for the men from Bergamo would surely set up extra time. Gersons wins the header. Forward by De Ligt. Cuadrado unable to latch onto it. Much of the spring in their step has just gone out of Atalanta's game. Need to try and rediscover it. You wonder whether Muriel might have been better starting the match. Juan Cuadrado. Weston McKennie. Cuadrado plays it forward. We haven't seen too much of Dybala. Running it Dirone. Bentancur. Danilo. This is Rabiot. Patient football from Juventus. In it comes from Kulusevski. Ronaldo wasn't sure if it was intended for him. Wide from Bentancur. Cuadrado and Paulo Dybala now. Lovely disguise on the pass from Cuadrado. Just needed a better touch from Dybala. Atalanta need to get a foothold on this game. Kulusevski's number is up. Bonucci was named in the Juventus travelling squad. Another look at that. Brilliant goal from Chiesa. There to collect the pass from Kulusevski. And Kulusevski, just like he did in the round of 16 and the quarter-final, it's a goal and an assist for him tonight. Dybala was just about to come on for Chiesa. Fortunately for Juventus, the substitution
entra il numero 59,
came at just the right time. And now it's a defensive change. Bonucci, who picked up a knee problem in training, is able to play for the last 8 minutes or so. Goossens has gone off for Miranchuk. Gasperini has to force it, has to try and make something happen. Kulusevski, you sense, wanted to still be on the pitch come full time, if and when Juventus lift the trophy and are confirmed as Coppa Italia winners again. McKennie with the pace. Romero did well to catch up to him, else that would have surely been 3-1 and good night. Ilicic. Atalanta still believe, their supporters certainly do. They've not just come to make up the numbers. Ilicic turned down the option of Jim City. Miranchuk. Jim City got away momentarily from Danilo. Who knows whether a Coppa Italia win and a place in the top 4 would be enough to keep Pirlo in a job. Would that be considered progress for Juventus? Certainly not in terms of the league, having won 9 straight titles, but the cycle was always going to come to an end. Even if it is a transition period for the Bianconeri, a Super Cup and a Coppa Italia. Wouldn't be a bad season by anyone's standards. Ilicic. Miranchuk, well closed down by Bentancur. Dybala wriggled free with it, and this time Freuler is cautioned. The frustration starting to show for Atalanta. Their disappointment beginning to manifest itself. Once again, they've come so far, they've gone so close, and it looks like it's going to be another near miss. That man's goal looks to have settled it, unless Pirlo's men concede in the next 5 minutes plus added time. McKennie reminding his teammates to stay switched on, to stay focused. One match at a time for Juventus, as their season culminates in potentially a Champions League finish. And in all likelihood, a Coppa Italia win. Away by Palomino, brought down well by Ilicic. Pasalic now. Pasalic onto the loose ball. Forward by Deron, rather hopeful. Cleared by Bonucci. McKennie's header on, Cuadrado beaten to it. Bentancur restores order. Ilicic with the last touch. Juventus throw, it's all going their way. Rafael Toloi wondering what might have been the Atalanta skipper, the man who inherited the armband mid-season from Alejandro Gomez. Juventus have won the final more than twice as many times as they've lost it. They're used to getting the job done, but they're under pressure here. Zapata. Pasalic. Ilicic. Some of that refined control about Atalanta's play has just gone awry. They're looking a bit ragged. Do they still have what it takes? Ilicic. Palomino. Muriel's barely had a kick since coming on. Palomino's won the header. This is Alexei Miranchuk. Jim City. Ilicic shown inside. And still Ilicic. Bentancur got a toe to the ball. Ronaldo had his pocket picked by Freuler. Jim City. Romero can deliver. It's clipped in towards Miranchuk. Away by Chiellini. And Ilicic penalised for a foul on Danilo, and it's a yellow card to boot for Martin Deron. Atalanta saying Ilicic just watched the ball, just brought it down. And the Dutchman feels aggrieved, and he needs to stop talking immediately. Chiellini's header away. Not sure Ilicic did much wrong there. Kept his eye on the ball, backed in a touch perhaps. Danilo made the most of the challenge and got that all-important foul for Juventus. It is just not going Atalanta's way. And after all that, there is a red card for Rafael Toloi from the looks of things. Chiellini heads it away, swept forward by Danilo. Pasalic. Atalanta have 2 minutes to conjure something up. 2 minutes to just force their way through and beat Buffon. Hasn't looked likely in this second half. Juventus have gone up a gear, moved up a level. Danilo. Late challenge by Ilicic. And it is a yellow card for him. It was just Daron that was cautioned earlier on for dissent following that Ilicic foul on Danilo. And this was Ilicic once again impeding the Brazilian. It's become bad-tempered, it's become a little bit needly. Andrea Agnelli senses how close his team are to the 19th piece of silverware under his stewardship in 11 years. It's a stunning sequence. It is domination at the top of the Italian game. They might not have won the Scudetto this season, but they're going to take home, it appears, the other 2 pieces of domestic silverware. The Super Cup first, and now potentially the Coppa Italia to boot. Those are some of the mayors from local towns in the Bergamasco, the region surrounding the city. They've been invited here tonight, but it's not quite lived up to expectations. There was a lot of confidence in the city of Bergamo going into this match. They felt that they were finally ready to add a second Coppa Italia to their trophy cabinet, in a position to avenge the 2019 defeat. They have 4 minutes to try and stop another Juventus triumph. Jim City, Miranchuk, Freuler, Pasalic, Muriel. He's overhit the cross, and that's just what Juventus would want at this stage. Disappointment for young Matteo Ruggeri, product of the Atalanta Academy. So too is Kulusevski. It's he who's come back to haunt La Dea tonight. Buffon is just 3 minutes away from triumph number 6 in this competition. It would equal the record of the Italy head coach Roberto Mancini and the Percassi duo, father and son. Since it might not be their year once again, unless Chiellini wins the header. Jim City kept his eye on it. Romero, Miranchuk, Ilicic, finding a cross, headed behind by Bonucci. All important from here. Now some nervy moments will ensue for the Bianconeri. Golini's come forward. Surely not. Muriel with the set piece, headed away by McKennie. Golini rather ambling back. Calmly done by Freuler. Golini has stayed forward, the goalkeeper. This is Miranchuk. Now Golini reluctantly goes back home. Ilicic finding half a yard to curl it in. This is Miranchuk. It cannoned off Palomino. Atalanta have committed bodies forward, and Juventus can seal it here. Juan Cuadrado going himself perhaps. Cuadrado. Ronaldo forced wide. Very nearly shades of the Super Cup when It was Morata who got a second in added time at that end of the ground as Juventus broke against Napoli. Not quite the same conclusion on this occasion. Ilicic. Freuler leaves it for Muriel. Jim City. Pasalic. You sense Atalanta will just toss the ball into the middle and hope. Martin de Roon. Palomino's ball forward, headed away by Bentancur and straight to Cuadrado. And Atalanta's race might be run. Their campaign will end with disappointment once more. Cuadrado. Ronaldo leaves it for Danilo, who's got forward. He can pick out a teammate should he choose. Instead, Danilo goes himself, and Golini makes the save. Launched long by Golini, headed out by Bonucci, that's Pasalic. Away by Bonucci again, and De Ligt can take his time. Cuadrado's lost possession. McKennie screams at him for being so careless. One last Atalanta foray forward. Ilicic. Booted into touch by Chiellini. Pinsoglio leads the delegation on the touchline. The Bianconeri want the whistle. The fans want the chance to cheer again. We've played the 4 added minutes. Palomino sends it long. Buffon claims it. And with that, surely, Juventus have won the Coppa Italia. Triumph number 14. They are still the biggest club in Italy. They are still the team to beat. This season might not have ended with a 10th straight league title, but Juventus once again with silverware. On his 42nd birthday, Andrea Pirlo has another trophy in the Juventus cabinet. The Coppa Italia to go along with the Super Cup. Triumph number 6 for Gigi Buffon. The first was in 1999 with Enrico Chiesa. The 6th is in 2021 with Federico Chiesa, his son, on the score sheet. Gasperini once again a beaten finalist. De Roon, part of the many Atalanta players that have tasted disappointment once more. Chiesa the match winner. He took his goal brilliantly. And the other scorer bittersweet for La Dea, Dejan Kulusevski, scoring against the club where he burst onto the scene. It's tears for Zapata. It is joy for Juventus and Ronaldo. He has his first Coppa Italia winners' medal. Juventus win their 20th final in this competition for a 14th winners' medal all told. They are just relentless. 1938, 1942, 59, 60, 65, 79, 83, 95, and 1990, of course. 4 years in a row between 2015 and 2018, and Andrea Pirlo has another trophy and perhaps another season at the helm. There was little Golini could have done about either goal. Gasperini sharing a word with Chiellini, finding the courage to produce a smile. But the players clearly performing for Pirlo. It's been a rocky first season for him, but he won the Super Cup here in January. He's won the TIMVISION Cup here in May. And there's surely more to come from him in the coaching game. If not at Juventus, then perhaps elsewhere. But for now, he will shelve all talk about his future. Juventus have once more triumphed. They bounce back after last season's defeat to Napoli on penalties. It's a whole different outcome this time around. That hunger for trophies, that desire to win the lot never deserts them. trophy number 19 under Andrea Agnelli. And plenty of players in there that are lifting first piece of serious domestic silverware, including the men that got the goals, Kulusevski and Chiesa. They look well equipped for the future. Ronaldo grateful to Chiesa. And now Buffon being told to bounce for the fans. It's an astonishing career, his. Longevity, consistency, brilliance at times. And Kulusevski, of all people, an Atalanta youth product, one of the jewels in the crown of their academy. Juventus also represented by the Elkan family. And Buffon bowing out in style. A career spent at the summit of the game. Spent his whole career hoovering up trophies. And his last season with Juventus, no different to so many of those that have gone before. Buffon held aloft in Reggio Emilia, and very shortly you sense he might be given the honour of hoisting the Coppa Italia. The TIMVISION Cup, won by Andrea Pirlo's Juventus. The perfect birthday present for him as he turns 42. What might have been for Robin Gosens and Atalanta. They were swept aside in the second half. They had the momentum going into the break. A reminder that Kulusevski got the opener on the half-hour mark. Malinovski equalised 10 minutes later. But once Chiesa scored midway through that second half, there was just no stopping Juventus. Atalanta couldn't pick themselves up off the canvas. It was the knockout blow. And once again, it's Italian football's heavyweights, Juventus, that are the victors here. And rather than Kulusevski, who scored the opener and teed up the second, the match winner, Federico Chiesa, the scorer of the winner goal, picks up the most valuable player award at this TIMVISION Cup final. There have only been 74 editions of the Coppa Italia. Juventus have won it 14 times out of those 74. They are dominant in the Cup, just as they've been dominant in the league. And ultimately, experience told tonight. They had that in spades with Buffon. They had the luxury of throwing on Bonucci to get the job done. Atalanta so near, but yet so far once more. Defeated by Lazio in 2019, on the losing side tonight against Juventus. Muriel will no doubt have some regrets at how little playing time he got. For once, the super sub move didn't work. Atalanta, just Coppa Italia finalists for the 4th time in their history. And this in danger of becoming something of a hoodoo. Lovely gesture from Gasperini. Pirlo winning 2 trophies in his first season at the helm. And Buffon with yet another winner's medal. The 6th time that he's won this competition. And he bows out in style. Will he start at Bologna? Or will this be his final appearance in Juventus colours? Gianluca Frabotta took part in the campaign at the start, even got on the score sheet against Spal in the 4-0 win. Juventus also grateful to Hamza Raffia, don't forget him. It was his extra time winner that allowed them to beat Genoa in the first place in the last 16. We are moments away from the trophy ceremony. Davide Massa had a good game. It was a difficult match to officiate. Sparks flew. The game was simmering throughout. Yet he kept his cool, just had to brandish one red card. It went the way of Rafael Toloi, who had already been taken off as a substitute. Pinsoglio, as ever, playing social secretary. Winning is a habit that never seems to desert Juventus. They are relentless in their pursuit of glory. Andrea Pirlo knows that all too well as he shares an embrace with his number 2, Igor Tudor. He was a winner as a player, he's a winner as a coach as well. Becomes only the 4th Juventus head coach to win the Coppa Italia for the club as both a player and in the dugout. Luis Monti, Carlo Parola and Dino Zoff, the 3 predecessors. Spare a thought for the supporters too. 4,300 in attendance tonight. They went through a rigorous protocol to be able to attend between COVID-19 tests and negative certificates and proof of vaccination. It's the Bergamaschi who will be going home disappointed, but those that hail from Turin and further afield celebrating long into the night. Federico Chiesa, can't believe it. And now the Chiesa family, Enrico and Federico, can share their memories of how they won the Coppa Italia on the same pitch as Gigi Buffon. An astonishing barometer, really, an example of his longevity, the great goalkeeper. But Chiesa's future is bright.
Signore e signori, ha ora inizio la cerimonia di premiazione della TIMVISION CUP. Diamo il benvenuto al presidente della regione Emilia-Romagna, Stefano Bonaccini.
Stefano Bonaccini, the president of Emilia-Romagna, Paolo D'Alpino, the president of Serie A, and Salvatore Rossi, who's the president of TIM, the sponsors of the TIMVISION Cup, as they prepare to conduct the medal ceremony. First up, the team of officials, and then we'll see the runners-up, and finally, Juventus will be able to celebrate another triumph in the domestic cup, a different venue, but a familiar victor in the shape of the Bianconeri. And what a great job they've done in Reggio Emilia. Emilia-Romagna as a region really at the vanguard now in terms of hosting sporting events. This facility, a wonderful stadium. They've done really well to get this game on and to have fans in attendance. Davide Massa, the match official, his assistant referees Matteo Passeri and Alessandro Costanzo. The 4th official, Marco Di Bello. Paolo Valeri, the video assistant referee, and the man assisting him, Mauro Vivenzi. Proud recognition for them. They all did a good job. Thankfully, we didn't need too much work from the VAR. Davide Massa handled much of the talking points on his own. It is disappointment for Palomino, it is heartbreak once again for Atalanta. Ladea unable to round off what's been a wonderful 5-year spell under Gasperini. They will come again, you sense they'll be back. They'll certainly be back playing at Europe's top table next season. They may well be pushing for the Scudetto, but the Coppa Italia will have to wait for a year at least. Palomino and Romero et al. Keen to get on with things. They gave it a good go. It was a superb campaign. 10 goals all told, but just that one strike from Federico Chiesa proved a bridge too far for Gasperini's men. They will be galvanised by this. Disappointment helps to forge champion sides. Juventus know that as well as anyone, with so many near misses in the Champions League. But domestically, they have few rivals. Gasperini's search for silverware goes on. The likes of San Lammers just watched on from the bench tonight, so too Joachim Mele. They both played their part in helping Atalanta to this stage, but it's this stage where they've come up short. A group of supporters spoilt by just how much success they get on a regular basis, Juventus. Year in, year out, they win trophies with consummate ease. Gasperini affords himself a smile. He knows that the project doesn't end tonight. They go on to bigger and better things, with a squad built to compete in Italy and beyond. And Chiesa, like the cat that got the cream, and who can blame him? What a superb standout performance. MVP of this TIMVISION Cup final. And make room for the Coppa Italia winners. Dybala had a cameo in this final. Ronaldo played throughout. McKennie couldn't resist. A sneak preview. And there won't be a dry eye in the house for Gigi Buffon, bringing up the rear. Chiellini surely affording him the privilege of hoisting this trophy. Pirlo perhaps with a word of thanks for Kulusevski. But there is plenty of promise in this Juventus side. Forget the league campaign for a moment. On their day, just as they showed against Inter in Serie A on Sunday, they are very hard to stop. They have an aura about them. Ronaldo adds a Coppa Italia winners medal to the 2 league titles he won in his previous 2 campaigns with Juventus. Mixed emotions for Buffon. Unbridled joy, no doubt, and once again prevailing in this competition, once again proving how he is still very much at the summit of the global game. But he's also leaving the club that has defined his career. So too is this trophy, amongst many others. Gigi Buffon, the perfect player to lead the celebrations as Juventus lift the Coppa Italia for the 14th time. The Bianconeri are the winners of the TIMVISION Cup here at Mapei Stadium. A valiant effort from Atalanta, but it's a familiar face hoisting aloft the silverware, a familiar name in the record books. Another trophy for this wonderful football club, the biggest club in the country, and they have once again prevailed in Italy's domestic cup. That's all from me, Patrick Hendrick, here in Reggio Emilia. I'll leave you to enjoy the trophy celebrations. It is finished Juventus 2, Atalanta 1, and the Bianconeri are the Coppa Italia winners for 2020-2021. Good night.